You guys give it up for Mr. Peter Byrnes, everybody.
So what did we learn this week, kids? We learned we don't have to worry about global warming, because when a corporation rapes the environment, Mother Nature just has a way of shutting that down. We're all tracking this hot Akins thing, right?
Yeah.
And what it does is, I mean, he suggested that if there's a legitimate rape, later amended to forcible rape, which I'm not sure how that works, but women have a way of just shutting that down so they don't get pregnant. Which is not exactly science, but there you go. I wonder now what he thinks the inside of a Planned Parenthood looks like. It's got to be horrifying. And also, all of you liberals that are complaining about the lack of affordable access to contraception, you're monsters. Think about it, you'll get there. But it's also true that this wasn't a universally held GOP policy. Mitt Romney spoke out against this position, though it is true that he thinks life begins when the partners sign the Articles of Incorporation. But that's not why I'm here. It's Rhea Butcher's last night, so let's talk about 80s movies. Because I've been showing... Yes, there we go. We're back on board. I've been showing my kids a bunch of 80s movies, sci-fi movies specifically, and I've realized what we got wrong. Phones. If you go and look at Escape from New York, that is a movie that allows you... It's no problem to suggest we've turned Manhattan into an armed camp. But to get Snake Plissken inside, they're talking with bricks affixed to the side of their heads. And by the way, that was said in 1997, which is depressing enough, because I had to explain to my children that 1997 was the future at some point. But there was a whole thing in the 80s where it was 97 meant no flying cars, but after 2000, definitely flying cars. Which means, where's my fucking flying car? I'm a little pissed about this. But I've got a magical device in my pocket. Case in point, we showed them The Terminator, and yeah, I'm kind of a monster because my kids are 12 and 9, and they shouldn't be seeing that. But I asked my 9-year-old. I said, "There's going to be boobs in this movie. Are you okay?" And he said, "I've seen Airplane." And I thought that was a good enough answer, frankly. My children were less confused by a robot from the future and a time paradox than the book he looked up the names of Sarah Connor in. Like, what's that? And like, it's a phone book. What? There used to be a book that we all had with everyone's name in them. Really? Yes. Can we move on to the robot part? Now, for myself, by the way, the most unbelievable part of that movie is that a sexually active waitress in 1984 wasn't on the pill. But yeah, if you want to feel old, try explaining phones to your kids and the lack of voicemail. So what had happened, Daddy? Well, you see, people would call you, and then the voicemail would pick up? No. It would just ring. And if you weren't home, they would eventually figure that out and hang up. And when you came home, you saw they called? No. You have no idea. So how would you know they called? I said, you didn't. They said, well, how would they know when to call you? I said, they really wouldn't. They would just pick a random time and call again. And maybe you would answer and maybe you wouldn't. And they're like, so you could go out to the mall and no one would know where you were. And I said, that's right. And they said, that sounds awful. I said, no, it was wonderful. But here's the thing that's good about phones. No matter how far your friends move away, they're never so far as your pocket. Congratulations to Rhea Butcher.